The words bill and cash have been bandied around a lot during the expenses scandal, but until today, Bill Cash, the Tory backbencher, had escaped scrutiny. The Telegraph's front page changed all that. Mr Cash paid his daughter £15,000 of public money to rent her flat, even though he already owned one closer to Westminster. His party leader appeared to be unimpressed.
Bill Cash has got some very serious questions to answer, and he needs to answer those questions. He's also got to cooperate with the inquiries that the Conservative Party is holding, and everyone knows the consequences of not participating in those inquiries. I've made that very clear, and that's what now needs to happen.
Mr Cash embarked on a series of interviews to defend himself, denying he was extravagant or had broken the rules, and said he was prepared to repay the money.
I obviously would not want the taxpayer to be in any way disadvantaged by decisions that I had taken. All I'm trying to do is to say that in those circumstances, as and when they occurred, I believed at the time that I was doing the right thing. If in retrospect it turns out that it wasn't perhaps the wisest thing to do, then naturally I would be more than happy to make the appropriate arrangements.
His daughter Letitia, who made a profit on the sale of the flat, is also hoping to be a Tory candidate at the next election. Up to now, Mr Cash has had a harmonious relationship with the voters of Stone, even though he doesn't actually live in the constituency. His home is 50 miles from here. Mr Cash has been an MP for 25 years and he says he still intends to stand at the next general election. But some MPs are finding it impossible to ignore public anger.
Well, I think that's all I can say at the moment.
The former Environment Minister Elliot Morley, who carried on claiming for a mortgage which he'd already paid off, is under pressure in his Scunthorpe constituency. Speculation is growing that he'll announce he won't seek re-election. If he does stand down, the taxpayer will continue to pay his salary of more than £64,000 a year plus expenses until the general election. And then he'll receive a further year's salary, the first £30,000 of which will be tax-free. He'll also be eligible to claim up to £40,799 to cover the costs of winding up his offices, which includes paying off his staff. And of course, there's his pension. With 22 years as an MP, he'll be in line to get £49,220 and 16 pence a year.
I understand that Mr Morley was planning to retire at the next election anyway, so really we want immediate resignation. There's no compromise on that at all. Why should the taxpayer foot the bill for another 12 months of salary for an MP or all MPs who've lost credibility with their constituents?
The system of payoffs for MPs was criticised by the Liberal Democrat leader Nick Clegg. He said the money wasn't intended for those who decided to call it a day after being caught with their fingers in the till. Ian Woods, Sky News, Staffordshire.